Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Nicole B, and on this channel we talk everything entrepreneurship, everything small business. I want this to be a place where we can all come together and help each other on our entrepreneurial journeys. If that is something that you're interested in, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss another video from me again. Okay, in today's video, we are going to be talking about the do's and don'ts with starting a skincare business. There are so many things that I wish I kind of knew or realized that I may need or shouldn't have done in general when I was starting my business. So I wanted to give a few do's and don'ts that I think are essential when it comes to starting your business. Okay, so first we're going to dive into the do's, and then we're going to talk about the don'ts at the end of the video. So first do I would say is going to be ordering pebbles or chips as far as beeswax or cocoa butter or like the harder butters go, depending on what you're going to be using for your formula. I found that having the pebbles or the chips was just a lot easier because you wouldn't have to sit there and carving out all of the cocoa butter or the beeswax or having to cut it up. And these are really, really hard to cut through, and it takes up a lot of time, and they also take a long time to melt. And you have to consider that when it comes to your formula as well, and making the butter, because having all of that on the fire for too long can be bad for the nutrients of the butters or the oils, and you don't want it to be overheating. So when they're in those smaller quantities, they melt fast. Okay, so the next do I'm going to talk about is one that I didn't really realize would be so hard to find or be so hard to use, and that's the piping bags. When I bought the piping bags at first, I just bought regular ones, and I think they were just normal ones that you use for baking. And I didn't realize that people were buying like the extra large piping bags and the extra large piping tips. And when I purchased them and tried to pipe with them, it was really small. It was kind of hard to squeeze out, and it just really wasn't that functional. And I realized that people were buying the extra large bags, like 16 ounces and up. And that was perfect for all of the piping that we were doing. And so I would definitely recommend getting the larger 16 and up piping bags, and they'll have the larger piping tools. And this will be great for when you're getting ready to scale and you'll have larger products that you're producing, and it'll be easier to pipe out, and you'll get much more out at one time versus the smaller ones. So definitely get the larger piping bag. Now I can't leave y'all hanging. I will have the link down below so that you guys can get the piping bags and the piping tips. They have different piping tips that you can use, different designs that you can kind of get fun with and test out. So I have that link down below so you can give that a try. To be our scales, and I use two different scales for measurements. I use a bigger one which goes up to 1/10 of an ounce, and then I use a smaller one which goes up to 1/100 of an ounce. Those are really important because you want to make sure that you have an accurate measurement for everything that you need. The bigger scale you'll probably use more so for your butters, coconut oil, things of that nature that you need a bigger measurement for, and then the smaller scale you'll probably use for like your essential oils or for the fragrance oils, so that you can get the exact like 0.00 ounce that you need to measure out for your formulation. So I would definitely recommend having both of those. I really like these two particular scales, so if you would like to try these out, I'll have a link down below for both of them so you can give it a try. Now for the don'ts. And oh, you guys, I just made this mistake myself, so I had to tell you what I did wrong. And for this one is, don't wait to the last minute to buy any inventory that you need for your product launch. And the big thing is, so I bought a trial size of a fragrance oil that I really wanted to use for a product, and I was really excited about it. We tried it, it smelled so good, and I was ready to buy the bigger quantity so that I could use it. It's all sold out. Every last one of them were sold out, and they weren't gonna have any more until the end of January, and that's too long from now, and I need it now. So I had to figure out a new formula, something different, a different scent. It's still similar to what I was looking for, but it's not exactly what I wanted. So to avoid this, plan months, ahead. Make sure that you have the trial set and you figured out what scent you wanted to use so that you can buy the bigger quantity and you won't have to worry about, even if they do have it sold out, at least you know ahead of time and you can still give yourself some leeway, a little bit of space to buy what you want. But if you wait last minute, you're gonna have to figure out something on the spot, and that's just never fun. It doesn't end up being exactly what you want. I still ended up coming out with a good scent that will work, and I'm satisfied with it. It's just, it was a mistake that I shouldn't have made, and I should have planned ahead. So make sure you plan ahead. Okay, so next up is don't guess on your formula, which sounds like a no-brainer, but when I first was making body butter, I was just kind of throwing stuff in there, just however much, and I wasn't measuring it out, and it didn't really matter to me because I was just making it for myself and my family, and it came out okay. But then when I decided to actually sell it as a product, I knew that I had to make sure that there was consistency and that there was, the people were able to expect the same quality each time. And you have to think about this like when you go to McDonald's, right? It may not be the best fast food, it may not be the best burger, it may not be the best food in general, but when you go there, you know exactly what you're gonna get, you know what it's gonna taste like, and you know what to expect. And if you have that level of consistency in your business, you'll go far because people know what they're gonna get from you, and it's not a guessing game, and you don't want people to guess about what they're gonna get. Next don't is going to be don't buy without doing research first. And again, another mistake that I made was buying the labels that I had. The first labels that I had were terrible because I really wanted translucent labels. I wanted that because I thought that would be like a really cool, clean look, but they ended up turning out like, it just wasn't legible. They rubbed off easy and they just didn't look good, and it just didn't work for the aesthetic that I was looking for my business. And I didn't realize that that's what I would get with the translucent labels. I thought, anything would work and it would look great and I wouldn't have to do anything. I ended up buying like a whole bunch of labels, and I have I don't even know how many I have, but too much because I'm not using it. And I have all these labels and they're not gonna work for me. And so I bought other labels that are oil resistant and water resistant, which is what you need for these types of products. And these labels are great. Like, they are not coming off, they are not rubbing off, and they work perfect. And this is exactly what you need for these forms of products. So I'm gonna have a link for that, of course, at the bottom. So make sure you go ahead and check that out so that you can have great, outstanding labels. And if you need help creating these labels, I have a video available on how to create your labels on Canva and put your own personal flair. So be sure to check out that video. I'll have that available at the end card, and I'll catch you in the next video.